Well, welcome back to Breaking Bricks, my friends. I'm your host, Neil. You know, this week we have to finish the substructure. We can't really get much further until we get into the substructure. My motors have arrived. I can't wait to get into building with those. My first time ever, so I'm looking forward to experimenting with that. But, you know, this is the Defender base on Lothal, and what good is a base without a Defender? So, over the last few days, I've kind of tinkered with one. Tell me what you think when you get a chance to see it. You know, I'll show it to you here in a second, but we're going to get a really good look at it at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And let me know what you think down in the comments below, because that helps me out. All right? Otherwise, let's get into this week's build. All right, my friends, so this week, you know, we still have a lot of work here. But as you can see in front of me, I have a working concept of a tie Defender. I've been working on it the last couple nights. We've had to close, so I've had a little extra time at night. You know, the funny thing is like I said, it's a working concept. I still am not particularly happy with some of the ways some of the things turned out on it, so I might be modifying it throughout. But this is a mock. Last time Lego offered us one of these was in 2010. It retailed for $50. Now, new in a box, it goes for about $250. Was it an Army Builder set? Yes, the potential is there. It came with 2 minifigures, a Stormtrooper and a pilot, and so yeah, that definitely qualifies as an Army Builder set. You know, a couple $100, you got 4 of them. There you go. But anyway, you know, I'm not going to go that route. I decided to just, I could have built the set out of what I had. I wasn't positive if I had all the correct pieces or not. So I figured I'd just go ahead and design my own. I haven't really been big into designing my own ships, but I do from time to time when I need to. And overall, for the most part, I like it. The only thing that I'm really not happy with is how easily the front cap pops off of it. It doesn't turn and swivel like the old one does. It was very top heavy. I like this version a little bit better. I definitely like the red accents I've added to it. That's what the prototype looked like in the show, so that's kind of what I'm going with. But as time goes on, you know, I plan on modifying it most likely as I figure it out. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at that at the end of this episode. But we're going to focus on this middle section because that's what we need to get done. Also, I also got the motors in, so I can't wait to start working with those. Not too positive how I'm going to do that yet. It's the first time, you know, it's going to be trial and error, and you'll be right there with me figuring it out. So let's go ahead and get started on this middle section so we can move on to the next part of the substructure. my friends, we've taken it as far as we can take it this week. We have gotten a lot done. As you can see, we have one big long landmass. But you've noticed that I've still got quite a bit of the size to go. I've got a couple cutouts here and there. And you've noticed these little tile pieces everywhere as well. And we're going to talk about those here in a minute. But one thing I want to talk about first is this tie defender. I really want to know what your opinion is after we take a look. So, you know, depending on what you think, put that down below and I'll get back to you when I can. But I am really interested to hear what you got to say. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got done. Okay, what I got here is a working concept. Now, I did notice there was a lot of red on this version in Rebels, so that's what I did. I just kind of added some red to the wings that kind of represented there. I'm kind of happy with it for the most part. I might end up reworking that a point or two. Now, I have the TIE fighters here for size reference. It had to be similar size to these. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this is not the latest version of the TIE fighter. This is the TIE fighter from the Solo movie. I do believe it was about $80 in the US when it retailed. Now it's worth a little bit more. But yeah, I used one of the new small TIE fighter sets as a base for this. Overall, I think it looks pretty decent. I wish I could get it a little bit more rounder, so I might work on that off and on. And then I had to give it a couple little feet to stand on as well. I could have went with built the set from 2010, but once again, you know, I got to find those parts in the room because I'm not buying it. All right, so we got this section in here. Doesn't matter what color flat that I use because it's all going to get covered up in the end anyway. And one thing that I have to remember to do, and you can see why, we are running wire for power functions and LED lighting. So that one I don't have to worry so much about. And there's a power function wire right here. And there's the battery hatch. Now I have to keep that somewhat accessible, easy to get off. So I can change batteries out if I need to. And then down here is the remote sensor. I can control two motors. As you can see, as we continue on, there's another motor function wire, as well as a patching. Now this spot, if I don't want to add another wire, I have to make this accessible. It'll make it easier for plugging stuff in, as you can see. I have to be able to get all this moved and back together in one piece someplace else, because that's the goal. We have to be able to move it. And that's where it will come out and plug into my battery. Or the wall, whatever I choose. So if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I'm doing a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest it out to other people who might like this kind of content. And of course, you know, who doesn't like a good Lego build? And if you got some, say down below, would be a good idea, you know, a good question maybe if you got a good idea for this build, that's always helpful. You know, go ahead and put that down in the comments. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you 1 second to do so. But for me, it means an awful lot. I can't grow without that. Otherwise, I'll see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.